My brothers and sisters, Ramadan has begun. This is not just another month on the calendar. This is not a cultural season. This is not a social trend where we post, we share, we decorate, and then we move on. Ramadan is an invitation from Allah. But let me tell you something honestly. Most Muslims get Ramadan wrong. Not because they don't love Allah, not because they don't respect fasting, but because they misunderstand what this month is truly about. They reduce it to hunger, they reduce it to food schedules, they reduce it to night gatherings and long tables, and they forget that Ramadan came to change them. So don't be one of them. My brothers and sisters, let us correct something from the very beginning. You are not fasting because Allah needs your hunger. Allah does not benefit from your thirst. Allah is free of all needs. He is Al-Ghani. He does not increase in greatness because you skip a meal, and He does not decrease in power because you drink water. So then why are you fasting? The Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, made it very clear. He said that whoever does not leave false speech and evil conduct, Allah has no need for him to leave his food and drink. Think carefully about that statement. It is powerful. It shifts the entire meaning of Ramadan. Fasting is not the goal. Transformation is the goal. If you fast from food but not from lying, what have you done? If you fast from water but not from backbiting, what have you achieved? If your stomach is empty but your heart is full of arrogance, jealousy and anger, then what exactly changed? Ramadan is not about starvation, it is about purification. When you feel hunger during the day, that hunger is supposed to remind you of your weakness. It is supposed to humble you. It is supposed to make you realize how dependent you are on Allah for something as simple as a sip of water. The moment Maghrib comes, one date and one glass of water feels like a treasure. Why? Because deprivation makes you aware, but that awareness is meant to extend beyond food. You control yourself from eating something halal for Allah's sake. Dates are halal, water is halal, bread is halal. Yet from dawn to sunset you say, no, I will not touch it because Allah told me not to. If you can control yourself from halal for 12 or 14 hours, why can you not control yourself from haram permanently? That is the question Ramadan is asking you. Many people misunderstand fasting as physical endurance. They compare who can handle hunger better. They talk about how tired they are. They count the hours until iftar. They treat it like a survival test. But Ramadan is not a survival test. It is a sincerity test. The real fast is not just of the stomach. It is of the tongue. It is of the eyes. It is of the ears. It is of the heart. Your tongue must fast from lies, from exaggeration, from gossip, from sarcasm that humiliates others, from backbiting someone who is not present to defend themselves. Backbiting is described in the Qur'an as eating the flesh of your dead brother. Yet some people avoid a sandwich during the day but consume people's reputations in the evening. What kind of fast is that? Your eyes must fast. Fasting is not only about what enters your mouth, it is also about what enters your soul. What are you watching? What are you scrolling? What are you staring at? You say, I am fasting, but your screen is full of things that displease Allah. The fast of the eyes is just as important. Your ears must fast. What are you listening to? Are you enjoying gossip sessions? Are you feeding your heart with negativity? Ramadan came to clean the heart, not to continue polluting it. And most importantly, your heart must fast. Fasting of the heart means reducing envy, reducing hatred, reducing grudges. How can you stand in prayer at night asking Allah for mercy while you refuse to forgive your own brother or sister? Ramadan is the month of mercy. If mercy is not visible in your behavior, then something is missing. Understand this clearly. Hunger alone does not impress Allah. Sincerity does. There are people who fast and only get hunger. There are people who pray at night and only get exhaustion. Why? Because the internal change never happened. Ramadan is a training camp. Imagine an athlete entering a training camp. He does not just show up and stand there. He follows discipline. He corrects technique. He removes bad habits. He strengthens weak areas. Ramadan is your spiritual training camp. You are training your patience. When someone irritates you, you say, I am fasting not as an excuse to be weak, but as a reminder to be strong. You are training your self-control. You are training your humility. If someone provokes you and you respond with anger exactly like you would outside Ramadan, then the fast did not reach your heart. If your speech remains harsh, your behavior remains careless, and your habits remain sinful, then you are only experiencing the outer shell of Ramadan, not its core. The goal of Ramadan is taqwa, consciousness of Allah, awareness that He sees you when no one else does. That awareness should grow every single day. By the end of Ramadan, you should be more careful with your words, more selective with your actions, more aware of your thoughts. If you finish Ramadan exactly the same as you started it, then you treated it like a routine instead of a revelation. My brothers and sisters, Ramadan is not about starving. It is about disciplining the soul. It is about weakening your desires and strengthening your obedience. It is about breaking bad habits and building new ones. So as you fast, ask yourself every day, what is fasting from me today besides food? Is my tongue fasting? Are my eyes fasting? Is my heart fasting? If your character improves, your patience increases, your humility grows, and your sins decrease, then you are fasting correctly. But if all that changed is your meal schedule, then you have misunderstood Ramadan. Do not let this month pass as a hunger challenge. Let it be a transformation journey. That is the fast Allah wants from you. Let me speak to you honestly. Ramadan has begun. And some people have already decided that nothing inside them will change. They will change their eating schedule. They will change their sleep schedule. But they will not change their sins. This is a dangerous mindset. Ramadan is not meant to be layered on top of your old lifestyle. It is meant to interrupt it. If you walk into Ramadan holding tightly onto the same disobedience you carried all year, then what exactly are you expecting to gain? Some people say, I know this habit is wrong, but after Ramadan, I'll deal with it. Some say, I will fast, but this one sin, I can't leave it. Some say, Allah is most merciful. It's okay. Yes, Allah is most merciful, but mercy is not a license to continue rebellion. Ramadan is a gift, and every gift carries responsibility. If there is a sin you have normalized in your life, something you barely even feel guilty about anymore, that is the first thing Ramadan came to challenge. Maybe it is a relationship that is not pleasing to Allah. Maybe it is dishonest income. Maybe it is addiction to something on your screen. Maybe it is arrogance in your heart. Maybe it is constant backbiting in your speech. Whatever it is, do not pretend it does not exist. Ramadan shines a light on what you try to keep in the dark. And here is something you must understand clearly. If you can leave halal for Allah during the day, you can leave haram permanently. You leave water, and water is pure and allowed. You leave food, and food is a blessing from Allah. You leave your comfort willingly. So do not say, I cannot leave this sin. The truth is not that you cannot. The truth is that you do not want to struggle. Ramadan is teaching you that you are stronger than your desires. Desires scream in the first few days. They protest. They make you uncomfortable. But then something happens. The body adjusts. The cravings calm down. The same thing happens with sin. The first days of leaving it feel heavy. You feel restless. You feel the urge. But if you persist for the sake of Allah, it weakens. Shaitan wants you to believe that change is impossible, that your habit defines you, that you will always be this way. But Ramadan is the month when Shaitan is chained, the environment is clean, the atmosphere is different, the masajid are full, the Qur'an is recited openly, mercy is descending. If you cannot change now, when will you change? Do not walk into Ramadan saying, I will try to avoid sin. Walk into Ramadan saying, this is the month I end it, and cut it off. Even if you stumble, get up immediately. Do not say, I already failed today. That is another trick. Shaitan loves turning one mistake into a week of surrender. No, you repent instantly, you reset instantly, you continue. Ramadan is not about perfection, it is about direction. But you must choose that direction deliberately. Let me ask you something serious. If this was your last Ramadan and you did not know it, would you still hold on to that sin so comfortably? Would you risk meeting Allah with it unchanged? We assume we have many Ramadans ahead. We assume there will always be another opportunity. But every graveyard is filled with people who assume the same. Ramadan is a mercy because it compresses reward. Good deeds are multiplied. Doors of forgiveness are open. but that also means responsibility is heavier. You cannot fast sincerely during the day and plan your disobedience at night. You cannot stand in Taraweeh listening to the Qur'an and then walk out determined to return to what you know displeases Allah. That internal contradiction damages the soul. This month is not only about adding more prayer, it is about removing what distances you from Allah. If you pray more but keep the same sins, your progress will always be limited. Think of it like this. If you are filling a container with clean water, but there is a hole at the bottom, it will never stay full. Sin is that hole. Ramadan patches the hole, but only if you allow it to. My brothers and sisters, be brave this month. Choose one major weakness and declare war against it. Do not tell anyone. This is between you and Allah. Make sincere tawbah. Cry if you need to. Admit your weakness before Him. He already knows. He is not waiting to punish you. He is waiting for you to return. And when you fall, because you are human, return again. Do not carry the same chains into Ramadan and expect freedom. Ramadan came to break chains, but you must be willing to let go of them. If you leave this month with one serious sin reduced or eliminated, that is greater than many voluntary acts done without inner change. Enter Ramadan as a person seeking purification, not as a person seeking routine. Do not be among those who fast externally while internally remaining the same. Let this month mark a turning point, not temporary behavior, permanent reform. That is how Ramadan changes lives. My brothers and sisters, Ramadan does not only test you during the day. In fact, for many people, the real test begins after sunset. All day you are disciplined. You control your hunger. You control your thirst. You remind yourself, I am fasting. You are patient. You are conscious. Then Maghrib comes. You break your fast. You feel relief. You feel gratitude. But what happens next? For some people, the night becomes a different world. The discipline disappears. The awareness weakens. The same month that was meant to elevate them becomes a season of distraction. Let us be honest. Some rush through iftar without even making proper dua. Some eat excessively, so much that the body becomes heavy and lazy. Then Taraweeh becomes difficult. Concentration becomes weak and prayer becomes mechanical. And after prayer, hours of entertainment. Endless scrolling, series, videos, conversations that lead nowhere, sleeping just before Fajr, missing the very prayer that begins the fast. Tell me, what kind of Ramadan is this? Ramadan nights are not ordinary nights. They are filled with mercy. They are filled with forgiveness. They are filled with opportunities that do not exist at any other time of the year. The Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, would increase his worship in Ramadan, and in the last 10 nights, he would increase even more. He would wake his family, he would tighten his belt, he would strive. Why? Because the nights carry something priceless. Laylatul Qadr is hidden in these nights. A single night better than 1,000 months. That is more than 80 years of worship. 80 years in one night. And yet, some people treat Ramadan nights like extended weekends. Understand this carefully. You do not have to stay awake the entire night. Islam is balanced. You need rest. You need strength. But you must give the night something meaningful. Even if it is 2 sincere units of prayer before you sleep. Even if it is reading a few pages of Qur'an with reflection instead of rushing. Even if it is sitting quietly and making dua from your heart. Quality over quantity. Some people stand in Taraweeh for an hour but think about business, social media, messages and food. Others pray less but with presence, humility and tears. Which one do you think carries more weight? Ramadan nights are not about performance, they are about sincerity. Do not let your fast during the day be weakened by negligence at night. And be careful of something subtle, overeating. Many people starve all day and then overcompensate at night. The table becomes heavy, the portions become excessive, the stomach becomes full. And when the stomach is full, the body becomes lazy and the heart becomes slow. Moderation is from the Sunnah. Break your fast. Eat enough to strengthen yourself, but do not turn iftar into indulgence. Ramadan is not the month of feasting, it is the month of fasting. There is another danger in the night, wasting time in arguments. Families gather, friends gather, conversations happen, but sometimes these conversations drift into gossip, criticism, comparing people, judging others. You avoided backbiting during the day. Why fall into it at night? Remember, fasting is not from food alone, it is from sin. Also reflect on this. What is your relationship with the Qur'an at night? Ramadan is the month in which the Qur'an was revealed. The connection between Ramadan and the Qur'an is deep. This is the month of recitation, reflection, and renewal. If the only Qur'an you hear is in Taraweeh, and even then your mind is elsewhere, you are missing a treasure. Set a daily portion, even if it is small. Read with understanding. Let the words enter your heart. When Allah speaks about mercy, pause. When Allah speaks about punishment, reflect. When Allah speaks about paradise, imagine it. When Allah speaks about hell, seek protection. Ramadan nights are your opportunity to build